Hello everybody. So I'm gonna react on my phone again because I don't like how that app just cuts everything down and like makes the sound all weird, fades it out, whatever. So I'm back to my phone until I get the tablet. I like the computer, but I don't know. I just can't seem to get any of the Windows PCs to work right. You need like 16 gigs of RAM in order for a freaking computer to work, right? Seriously, I'm not even kidding you. Anyway, let's get into this video because I know Vegan Deterioration has a lot of trouble reacting to this person just because she finds, I think she's a little too soft. She doesn't like to use... Well, she does get a little harsher with the parents, which is understandable, but she needs to be way more blunt. She does need to be blunt. She needs to be more comfortable with that. She's not comfortable enough, and I'm blunt with everybody. So, these two dipsticks are going to feed, or they're going to show us what they eat in a day, and I say two because it's mainly, it's the both of them that run the channel. And, and they're going to show what they feed their kids, too. And, spoiler alert, they're starving their kids. So, here we go.
Okay, guys, good morning. We are here in the kitchen.
1.5, because they are so unbearably slow. They talk like they've had an all-nighter with, like, they've been on a, like, weed. Like, they've just coming off of a giant, like, 24 to 48 hour like high of friggin' edibles on regular speed. They sound like they can't even speak. They can't speak without like almost slurring their words. I have to have them at 1.5 so that they sound normal. It's so annoying. I can't even like listen to them. They sound like they just OD'd on friggin' edibles, like 2,000 milligrams or so. That would probably kill them. It would kill a normal person, I think. But anyway.
As a family, all of us trying to get going. We are starving. Aaron just finished a work.
Oh, by the way, you are starving. You are starving. You're starving because you are malnourished. You are. And so is your wife. And so are your kids. You are feeding your kids awful. Just horrendous. I don't even know how your kids are not, like, crying all the time. Like, how are they not, like... Something is wrong all the time. I don't feel right ever. And I just want to feel like everybody else. I want to feel happy. I want to feel... Do you guys ever get that? Because if so, it's because your kids are not being fed right because of you. Kids are not supposed to be... Definitely the kids aren't supposed to be vegan. I don't know what the heck you think you're doing. This brings me to another thing, too. Little sidebar here. Why did people... What is it that made people fall for the meat being the problem? Like, we weren't having this problem up until the 50s when people started dying of heart disease and stuff like that. Why did they decide that the meat was the problem? Why? Like, I just... How, what, even in the 1800s when the whole Seventh-day Adventist thing started, excuse me, I'm okay, but why, what was it, why did they think the meat was, I mean, certainly they didn't do the vegan diet for health, they did it to control what they felt was like lust, and they wanted to dumb down the emotions of people, right? And they wanted to dull down the love drive, if you know what I mean. They wanted to dull down just people's, I don't know. They didn't do it for, they didn't even do it for health. They didn't even do it because of animals. They did it to dull people down, to weaken them and make them feel blah. So they knew back then. What is this? Suddenly now we're told that it's healthy. Like, what? And how is it people are falling for it? Like, especially the longer you go into this. We didn't have processed foods in the 1800s. Like, we didn't have processed as heck foods. We didn't have the labs that we do now that make the foods. We didn't even have Crisco in the 1800s. That was like 1900s when that started. So, what is it that make people believe this stuff? Like, how do they suddenly fall for it? Because when you look into the vegan diet in the 1800s, this is not what it was meant for. It wasn't meant to be nourishing. It was made so that you could feel dull. They did it on purpose. They wanted you to be dulled down because they felt like you were, like, any kind of love emotion, any strong emotions were like, especially libido, right? Like, they didn't want you feeling that. They wanted you to they didn't want you feeling that on purpose. On purpose. It wasn't done for health. It was an actual religion. So, what is it now people are being told it's healthy and believing that meat is the problem? When even in the 50s, people were still eating meat. Even before I bet you even in 1954, people were, before the heart disease issue really took off, before Ansel Keys even did anything, I bet you in like 1954, people were still eating meat happily, healthily. I bet you some people were going as far as avoiding that Crisco too. They were eating all the butter, all the meat, all the tallow, all the bacon, all of that stuff, all the lard, doing it all. My grandmother told me they used to make soap with lard. Boiling lard, I think it was, and something else. Like, what happened? What happened? That now almost everybody believes that plants are healthy. It wasn't meant for that. Like, is it just that people, like, I believe in medicinal, this is getting long. I believe in medicinal purposes for plants. That's what made me believe in the whole plants can help you with stuff. I never fell for the meat is murder, meat is garbage, meat is carcinogenic, meat is cancer. You know what real cancer is? Lab-grown meat. Cancer is too much soy, and it's been proven, by the way, too much soy. Anything that's made in a lab is cancer that we are trying to be fed. Any like actual thing that they say is good for consumption. Anything that is made in a lab, anything that comes with chemicals like that aren't supposed to be floating around in the human body. Anything that doesn't come in the human body naturally. Anything that is, I don't know. We're not supposed to be eating that stuff. We are supposed to be eating things that are as close to nature as possible, if not directly from nature. Meat is one of those things. Plain fruits and veggies are another subset of those things. Now, smoothies, on the other hand, no. Just no. And we are not supposed to be drinking fruit juices. We should be eating mostly meat and minimizing the fruit, minimizing the veggies. This was not meant for health, this diet. This diet, it wasn't meant for health. It wasn't even meant for the animals. Okay? So screw the health, screw the animals. Screw all of that. They didn't want you feeling strong emotions. That is what this diet is actually for. Yeah, that is actually what it's for. So you're doing it, you're viewing it wrong. You're viewing the vegan diet wrong. You're not supposed to be feeling happy and love and light and all this stuff.
We are cutting into a watermelon, and we're going to take you through what we eat in a day as a family.
This is what we eat in a day. Kid-friendly, family-friendly edition, because it's been a while since we've done one of these. Sharing things that maybe we don't share in other videos that we just kind of do without thinking on autopilot that might actually be helpful and useful to you guys. Like, what supplements do we give our kids? What are we taking now? Maybe a little skincare thing.
See, and that's the other thing too. You want to feel love and light. You want to be healthy. That's not what the vegan diet's for. And so your kids are definitely not going to develop well. The vegan diet was not meant for that. Maybe if you can learn a bit more about that, you will understand that, and maybe you will change. I'm going to start saying this more often. Plants, especially a plant-based diet, whether it includes meat or not, the more plants you eat, the more dulled down you're going to be. Because that is what they wanted. When they started doing this in the 1800s, that was what they wanted. That was what they were trying to do to you. If you lived back in the 1800s, they would want to see you depressed. They would want to see you angry. They would want to see you just emotionally wrecked all the time and tired. And they wanted that because they didn't get what they wanted when they saw it was something to do with Jesus' resurrection or something. I think when they didn't see the resurrection of Jesus or whatever it was, Jesus coming to earth or whatever it was called, I don't know. I can't remember exactly how it went, but when they didn't see that, when that day never happened, they were upset. And so they took it out on everybody. Okay? And that was what they decided to do. Punish everyone. Because they thought that Jesus didn't come because of everybody's lust and whatever else and overabundance of joy and happiness back then. So they took it out on literally everyone. And if you don't remember, the diet of even 10,000 years ago, the agricultural diet was very toxic even back then. The Egyptians, they had horrible teeth. Yes, they ate meat, but very little, and it wasn't very much beef, and it wasn't much ruminant meat. And the kids were born with all these deformities. Okay, I don't know what happened 10,000 years ago that made them start eating more plants. I guess they felt like, I don't know, but they certainly weren't doing well. And there were a lot of other countries that were still eating a lot of meat. So Egypt was far ahead of them in the agricultural thing. We still ate a lot of meat up until the 1800s. The rest of Europe was eating a lot more meat. Okay? But there's a theme. They always wanted you to be sad and miserable. And you were lucky if you had any joy at all. I had no love drive. I had no anything. When I was eating mostly plants, I was feeling blah. I was tired a lot. I tried to find joy in life where I could, but I was tired a lot. Now, if I have any plants at all, it's because, it's because it's just habit, I guess, and it's just habit. It's not even that I need them or that I want them, right? Anyway.
That I'm doing differently. So just tying up loose ends, and hopefully you guys will find it interesting. So we'll link everything below that we mentioned as well. I was about to make a smoothie, but then I remembered we have this Florida watermelon. Had to cut it open and start chomping on it because I'm so tired from my workout. So
Yeah, you're filming this video, so you're high on something. Girl, this is what I mean. It is dulling you down. You cannot work out. You have no energy. You have no energy. And it's supposed to make you malnourished. It's supposed to make you sick. The vegan diet was never, ever meant to be a diet to improve your health, to make you happier. In fact, it was for the opposite. The Egyptians, they started consuming these weird drinks and stuff to bring them that joy. They had to take drugs, hallucinogenic drugs, to feel those joys because their diet was so bad that that was the point though. I think even the elite probably in Egypt, I think it was the same idea. They wanted you eating a bunch of crap, and even they wanted to eat the crap too, because they were like, well, let's show you how to really do this right. You're gonna eat all of these crap foods, but then we're gonna show you what plants you can add so that you can feel a little bit of enjoyment if you seriously can't live without joy. Right? But for the most part, they didn't want you strong and happy. They want you weak. So your diet is not ever going to strengthen you because this diet was never meant for that. This diet was meant to weaken you. This diet it was fed to people to weaken them. It was fed to them to weaken them. Okay? And I'm saying this because I got copyright struck by another butthurt vegan because I forgot to mention this. It is not meant to make you healthy and happy. This diet is not. That is not what it's for. It really, really is not. And you realize how expensive these hallucinogenic plants are? It's because they're trying to make money off it. You can't just get them. The companies that push this onto you, excuse me, I had to swallow. They want you to feel numb. And even now, the government, the only reason they're probably doing so well, like in their own like workplace at least, is because they're probably buying more things, investing in their own like little concoctions that are probably $20,000 a year, to get them the joy that they need in their life, right? So.
Question I get is, where can I find the recipe to that? Can you guys share more of your recipes? Or I need a meal plan, and we have it all in one place for you guys. You have to get our brand new Eat, Move, Rest recipe and meal planner app. It is available for both Apple and Android. It has so many different features and functions, from detailed nutrition facts to customized Amazon Fresh grocery shopping lists, and we're adding new recipes every single month. So if you see something,
plus they want you addicted to food, and you're not going to feel rejuvenated. You're not going to feel it ever. That is not what it's meant to do. That is not what these plant foods are meant to do. I'm sorry for the ranting, you guys, but this is important.
You like on my Instagram reels, guaranteed it's going to be popped into our meal planner app. We've had so much great feedback from you guys, losing weight, making gains in the gym, learning how to feed a big family, or if you...
Oh yeah, you're definitely going to lose weight, but you're not going to make gains in the gym, especially the longer you're vegan. Plus, being in the gym is not meant, the human bodies aren't meant to do that either. Did you know that the people who were building, the people who did building and stuff like that, construction work, they were fed meat and lots of meat. They wanted them strong so they could have them help build them. So obviously what you guys are doing, this plant diet was not meant for that. It isn't meant for that. It's not going to give you gains because it's not meant to do that.
New to plant-based and you're trying to get started, it's great for anyone and everyone. Also, something I almost never talk about is our ebook bundle on our website. And for this holiday weekend, for Memorial Day, we are doing an over 50% off sale on the bundle. Instead of $39.99, we are offering it for $14.99 for this weekend only. Definitely grab it while you can. It has all of our most favorite loved recipes of all time. We have our main ebook with over 75 plus family-friendly recipes. And then
so I can become weak and malnourished. Woo! Because I want to feel that way. Because that's really what this diet is meant to do. That's why people were fed it.
We also have the 5-day raw reset and the 3-day juice feast. So this is definitely something I don't talk about very often. Supplements that we give to our kids and the ones we honestly focus on most for ourselves as well.
Look, the only reason these supplements are being invented is because the people that are inventing them aren't realizing that this diet isn't meant for joy. I don't think even the people that make these realize that. You can't feel joy. They're making them because they're feeling dulled down, and they want to create something that they think, oh, this helps, and maybe for a while it does. But the thing is, it won't. Because they've been brainwashed, and those people have been brainwashed, and those people have been brainwashed, and everybody's been brainwashed. Vegan diets are meant to dull you down. They are meant to make you depressed. That was the original purpose, and I'm not going to stop saying that.
Number 1, probiotics. I use seed probiotic, as does Dusty. The kids, I use this liquid one that I get on Amazon. Everything is linked below.
You should be using liquid probiotics if you're going to use them. Like if you don't have, I think if you don't have an appendix and you get food poisoning, for example, you're going to need a probiotic, and especially also if you're taking antibiotics, because it might even wreck your appendix in terms of your production of your proper what is it? Making of the replenishing of the gut flora. I heard somewhere that that's what the appendix is actually meant to do, is replenish. You're going to need probiotics. But you should be always getting liquid ones, because if you don't, you're going to get the ones that they're going to die. They're going to die they're probably already dead before you even put them in your mouth. Okay? You don't use it every day, by the way. You're not supposed to. If you think it helps with your breath or whatever, because you have smelly breath or a smell coming off of you that people like recoil from you because of, it's not really going to help with that. I heard somewhere that the more meat you eat, the better you start to smell. I notice a smell on me sometimes. It's not always pleasant. It could be because of my plant consumption, but I don't eat a lot. But I also don't like to shower too much. I just feel like it's too hard on your body, right? Like I don't know. But anyway,
you can check out our Amazon storefront to find all of these Amazon goodies. So probiotic, and then we focus on B12, D3, and omega-3. So I get an algae omega from Amazon, and a liquid B12 from Amazon, and a liquid D.
You need way more. There's a lot of proteins you're missing out on too, hon. And like I said, the vegan diet was never meant for health. It was never meant for that. You're not even supposed to be taking all that stuff. You're not supposed to be trying to lift yourself up. And maybe, I don't know, but it could be because, like, well, if you seriously don't want to feel dulled down, you could try these. But they're not going to work. That's why they want you buying them. They want you trying more stuff. That's why they keep developing new stuff. I don't know.
K3 plus K2 from Amazon. So these are what we give the kiddos. But for ourselves, in last week's video, again, I mentioned Complement. It has the 8 essential nutrients that vegans might want to focus on a little bit more. So it's all in one place. This just works better for the kids.
I wonder if Complement is vegan. It sounds like compliments. There's a cheese that I get from them, and it's real milk. So I don't know. I used to get cheese from them. It was real milk. So I'm honestly wondering, is that even a vegan probiotic?
Because we can dose it out more for a small body. But for us, Complement works out really well. It's super slick. It's an amazing company. We love it. So I am back on the Moon Balance. This is a Your Super Blend that I love because it's great for hormonal balance, libido, cycles. Even if you are going through menopause, it's just got the most amazing ingredients for anything female hormone and cycles related. And I usually start taking it about when their kids are about 2 years, so when I'm about 2 years postpartum, and I'm just trying to get back in sync. So yeah, I love it. It's simple. I just add it to a splash of water and mix it and chug it down.
I'll all dead product. Probiotics are not going to, I don't know what this is. It's probably some kind of powder, I guess. But yeah, your probiotic is dead. Your probiotics are dead. They're dead. They're not going to do anything. They are dead. Liquid probiotics are a lot better. But you're supposed to get them frozen, like refrigerated. So the ones you feed your kids are probably dead too.
So yes, Erin's taking her moon balance and I'm taking creatine, typical guy move, but I've been using this for a few months.
Creatine is in meat, buddy. This is just proving my point. This diet was never invented for health. It wasn't. And so vegan companies are trying to make stuff to imitate your creatines and things like that. But it's not going to compare to proper proteins and proper anything, because that's not even the point that the vegan diet is trying to make. What the vegan diet is trying to do is dull you down, make you sick and malnourished. They're trying to keep it so you won't die so quickly, but buddy, it's not going to help. It really isn't. You're still going to die a lot sooner than you would if you were to eat meat.
And I definitely feel the difference. Like, I'm stronger, I'm fitter, I can think better. Like, people say that there's actual cognitive benefits from creatine. Guys, almost all my vegan friends are all taking creatine. So I usually start my morning with this too. And I also like to start with a little electrolyte mineral blend from Sun Warrior. Seriously love this stuff. And the Silver Strength. So
I wonder what's in the Sun Warrior electrolyte stuff. I am afraid to look it up because I'm pretty sure there's probably tons of other crap. I don't even look up what element is. I know Nisha and them, she uses it. There's a lot of people that use Element. But anyway.
these are like our fulvic mineral blends. You guys have probably heard us talk about that before. Highly, highly recommend, especially if you are active, if you're...
Fulvic mineral blend. I thought fulvic acid was supposed to bind to stuff and pull it out, because my aunt told me that. How are you going to absorb the minerals if it binds to stuff and pulls it out? Make that make sense. Because my aunt said, oh, it binds to the bad stuff, pulls the bad stuff out. What bad stuff? Which things? Which things does it bind to and pull out?
Sweating, you need to be replacing minerals. They also help deliver nutrients in the body. Super, super good stuff. Recommend, especially like I said, if you're sweating a lot, if it's summertime, love to replace the minerals.
So this morning's green smoothie recipe is what I like to call my black magic green smoothie, because it's literally like black, thanks to the super dark.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, this is my superstition talking. Black magic. Do you mean black magic as in... I think actually you misspoke. Black magic means, you know, danger, 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 danger. Black magic is bad, right? So does it also induce diarrhea and make you feel like absolute crap? And do you nearly puke every time you finish it off? And you just never say? Or because black magic, ooh.
Green spirulina mixed with wild blueberries, and then all the other regular stuff I put in. I put in dulse Brazil nuts for that iodine and selenium. I put in chia and flax for omega-3s. I put in some Warrior protein, green apple, whole bunch of different greens. Collards and kale are my favorites. I always drop in some celery.
Oh, yeah. You're definitely gonna be sick after this. Ugh.
A couple little slices of ginger and turmeric root. I just keep these in the fridge in my little stasher bag to cut off small slices for our smoothies. And then it's just the frozen stuff, frozen bananas, and sometimes I do banana, mango, pineapple for like a really green tropical blend, or sometimes I like to do the banana with wild blueberry, sometimes adding in some frozen cherries. So those are my two favorites. So mornings and breakfast time is clearly always our favorite time to share with you guys, but for the sake of not making this a super long video, we're gonna cut to a really good breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you may not have seen here before. So for breakfast, we're gonna be making our new favorite go-to. These are no-flip protein pancakes that we make in the oven. Same with lunch, we're gonna be making a super good pizza pasta sauce to go on our pasta. We're making sure to cover all of our macronutrient bases, healthy carbs, fats, and proteins, but also placing an emphasis on iron, especially for the kiddos' sake. And then for dinner, we're gonna be making a super good Asian stir fry. Dusty made this bomb fried rice recipe the other night, oil-free, not actually fried, and it was to live for. So cloth diapering. something I did with Liv, not with Max, and I regret it. I wish I would have started with Max. It's such a game changer as far as saving money. I really love these diapers. I'm gonna share more in a follow-up video.
Facial massage.
So I'm just getting freshened up before we make our oven pancakes, and something I really don't talk about often enough is herbal face food. So this is literally the cleanest and the most potent multi-correction anti-aging serum I have ever.
I don't believe that, because like I said, anything that's vegan, it's not meant to fix anything. That's not what veganism was meant to do.
Come across. It's so wonderful in so many ways. So they have the serum and then the cure. So the serum is like for your full face, and the cure is for spot treating. It's so clean you could actually eat it. Like the founder has actually eaten this, and it's just so clean and so amazing. There's no
I would never. Blech.
fragrance added, there's no fillers, there's no chemicals. It's just natural plant compounds that are the most effective for.
How do you keep it from spoiling on the way to the customer?
Everything from fine lines and wrinkles and sunspots and freckles to acne, and it even has a natural built-in SPF of about 40 to 50. What they always say to do is feed your face first. So basically that just means apply this before the rest of your skincare and or makeup routine. So you guys can see I'm still using a bunch of my Osea, and this is what I've been doing for over a year now. So
I heard something about them not being vegan, but I don't know.
I feed my face first with herbal face food. It gives it this warm, tingling sensation that I just love. Makes me really know that it's working. Being a 30-something mama bear, definitely a game changer for me. So if there's one product I don't talk about enough, it's herbal face food, but it definitely deserves its spotlight because I've been obsessed with it. Dusty even is onto it now. So go check it out. You guys can make discount. Okay, so for our no-flip pancakes, they are going to be protein packed. We're going to put them in the oven instead of using a pan with oil. Keep in mind this is for 3 servings. This makes about 15 oven pancakes. This is in our meal planner. You can check it out there. You can portion it out to make a third of this amount if you want to. First thing I start with is 3 ripe speckled bananas and then 3 cups of rolled oats. Then I use 3 tablespoons of chia and or flax. I usually like to use a combination. 3 teaspoons of baking powder. 1.5 cups of organic soy milk. We love this brand because it's just soybeans and water and it's organic. About 2 to 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. If you want these to be extra protein packed, you can add 1 to 2 scoops. I'm gonna do a 1.5 scoops of Sun Warrior Vanilla Warrior blend for added.
I've heard that's not good for kids. I actually heard that that's not good for kids. You're not supposed to feed your kids that. Guys, this has to stop. You can't keep doing this. You can't. You're hurting your kids. I don't even want to think about what their blood results would show once you were to test their organ function.
Flavor and protein and iron. I used to get really fancy with it.
There's no iron in anything that's vegan. There's no iron. Meaning you're not gonna absorb it, so you're not gonna get any iron out of it. I should rephrase. So you won't get any iron out of it.
Do like a bowl for wet ingredients and a bowl for dry ingredients. What I do now is I just throw every single ingredient in the Vitamix, blend it, and it is so quick and simple. If you don't have a Vitamix, you can always just blend the oats into flour or use oat flour, and you'll also want to blend your chia and flax seeds. Other than that, you just smash the bananas with a fork and then mix everything by hand. Since we're talking about our product favorites, we don't really mention Vitamix very often, but we've had this particular blender model for 3 or 4 years, and it's definitely the best ever. You will never find anything that's as powerful and long-lasting as a Vitamix. It will last you a lifetime, so definitely worth the investment. We have it linked below. Now I'm just using my 1/4 cup measuring cup and spooning these out. No oil, no stick, no flip. They're almost like fluffy cookies. Speaking of cookies, you could put dark chocolate chips in these if you wanted to get fancy, or blueberries. Blueberries are good too. Then I preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I pop it in the oven for just about 12-13 minutes, and then you're good to go.
Oh, you made us dinner?
Yeah.
So wonderful.
Strawberry.
Oh, strawberry stew? Thank you. Oven pancakes are done. I usually then take them and put them on a towel. And then once they're really, really cool, then I'll store them in one of our stasher bags, whatever we don't eat for breakfast.
Max, what is your favorite color?
Blue and red.
And what's your favorite food?
Oats.
Oats?
Yeah. With cashew butter on top.
With cashew butter on top?
Yes.
And what's your favorite sport?
Baseball.
You wanna pick one for Viv too? That's a good one.
Hey Dad, what's your favorite movie?
Sandlot.
Sandlot.
Sandlot? You like Sandlot?
So this is Mac butter.
Good Lord. I'm surprised he can talk at all. I'm actually very surprised. The way you guys are feeding him, you're not feeding him the proper foods. And I've heard he's not looking great, right? And like I said, this is not what the vegan diet was meant to do. The vegan diet was never meant for health. It wasn't even meant for happiness and joy. It was never meant for any of that. You can never get happiness and joy from just eating plants. You can't. It lasts what? Maybe 4 hours depending on what you had. And then you're back down to being depressed because you have one of those like weird hallucinogenic drinks or whatever the heck, microdosing or whatever. You're gonna get maybe 2 to 4 hours out of it at most. So, yeah, no.
It's actually macadamia, cashew, and coconut. Such a good combo. The coconut makes it a little sweet, and it's also a great source of iron. So the kids...
No, it's not. It's not. It doesn't give you anything. If you're vegan, it won't give you anything. Like, even if you were a meat eater, it wouldn't give you anything because it would bind it, all the iron. It would bind it. It would bind to the meat iron too. Which is why I always say, if you're going to eat meat, don't eat it combined with stuff. Don't combine your plants with your meat. Just don't do that.
Eat this up. Usually my plate's not as pretty because I'm like eating scraps that the kids left behind. Now moving on to lunch, another effortless quick fix. So it's gonna be another Vitamix blender recipe. We soaked 1 cup of cashews in water for at least 30 minutes, but up to 4 hours is best. If you have a nut allergy.
Ew. I can't even imagine what that would be like for only 30 minutes. 4 hours? Ugh. Why? Are they like actually raw? How can you touch those without hurting yourself? Because I heard like there's something in the plant that burns your skin.
Check out sunflower seeds. Try soaking raw sunflower seeds instead. So we're gonna drain and rinse those, put them in the blender. Salt and pepper is to taste. We're gonna use 2 to 3 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, and I use garlic and onion powder just
Italian. What the heck?
to taste. And then 1 can of diced tomatoes. And then I'm also gonna steam some broccoli to add in at the end. And we're gonna blend in some red bell pepper. This is gonna help with the pretty color and vitamin C to aid in iron absorption. Our pasta.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work for ferritin. Definitely doesn't work for ferritin. How come you haven't touched on ferritin? How come you haven't touched on ferritin? Did anyone tell you about ferritin? Because, yeah, you need ferritin checked too. It's not about the iron absorption. It's about the ferritin as well.
Of choice are gluten-free elbows. These are brown rice pasta, just 2 ingredients, brown rice and water. And also, these are my personal pick, especially for kids.
I want some bacon right now.
Chickpea pasta. It's chickpea, yellow lentil, and red lentil. That's it. The reason I love these is they're ridiculously high in protein and iron, and they're so good. So
No, they're not. Dude, if they were that high in iron and if they were that well absorbed, I would have been cured of my anemia through eating hummus and stuff like that. And there's even lemon juice added into the hummus. And I was drinking lemon juice all the time. Dude, I might have kept my iron up, but my ferritin kept falling and falling and falling. So something was wrong there.
I'm gonna do a blend of both. 1 more ingredient to add to the flavor and nutritional value. This is nutritional yeast. We get unfortified. You can find it on our Amazon store. It's super high in protein, iron, and B vitamins. I'm just gonna add 3 tablespoons. Oh, it's a little bell pepper heart. This is a massive bell pepper, so I'm just gonna do half of it.
You better take the seeds out, woman, and peel the skin off.
Salt and pepper to taste. Tastes like pizza. So pretty. So I'm also gonna save half the sauce. Once you put it in the refrigerator, it does thicken up quite a bit, so then it would make a great little veggie dip. But if you want it to be liquidy like this, you could honestly also use this as a salad dressing. Don't go overboard, you don't have to use a lot, but I've used it as a salad dressing and like massaged curly kale or dino kale in it, and it is so good. So it's very versatile. We're gonna mix our broccoli in, cut up some cherry tomatoes, and eat up. You can always add whatever veggies you'd like. These I find are just the best with pasta, so we just steamed the broccoli and I added in some tomatoes while the pasta is still hot, so they'll kind of get nice and soft and warm.
What happened to your high raw diet?
Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm like a pasta fiend, and this tastes just like pizza. It's so good. Aaron really nailed it with this one. Big one.
See, but the joy's only short-lived, right? That's the point of this. You were never meant to be joyful when you go on this diet. That's not what it's meant to do. It's not meant to give you health and vitality. It's not meant for that. It isn't. It is not. And your kids definitely shouldn't be on it. Like, definitely shouldn't. Because the vegan diet was never. It wasn't even about animals. It was never about environment. Back then, especially. It was never meant for that. Never.
I'm tired.
It is time for one of.
Did that kid say I'm tired? Because if so, I would believe them. Because you're feeding them carbs. I couldn't tell which kid it was. They both have the same voice. Like, that is how malnourished they are. Like, I can't even tell who's who. I can't. You guys need to stop doing this. You think you're joyful and happy, but that's only because you're high on sugar. It's gonna, once you start coming down, you're gonna start wanting more and more and more. You're a slave in the kitchen all the time. Like, that was part of what they wanted you to be. They want you literally stuck inside your home cooking food all day because that's the only joy you're ever gonna get is the food. Otherwise, get out and deal with your, it was never meant for you. You weren't supposed to be happy on this. You're not supposed to be, because that's not even what it's meant to do. And your kids should not be doing this with you. You should not be putting them on it. You should not be doing this with them. They should not be doing this with you, rather. So your kid needs to come off this diet. Both of them need to come off this diet right now. Like, right now. Like, all you're doing is torturing them. This is, because that's what this diet is meant to do. It's meant to torture.
Nature's fruit snacks. So we're doing berries, kiwis.
It should be it should be torturing you too. That was what it was made for. It was made for torture.
Got some ripe pineapple and some cuties, and we'll probably just do a little bit of everything. Max, you want another bite of kiwi skin? Kids love kiwi skins. Don't throw them out.
All right, you guys, dinner time is my specialty, and I made this veggie fried rice
I thought you weren't supposed to eat kiwi skins. I thought they were like poisonous or something.
the first time a couple weeks ago, and it was knock your socks off good. So here we are tonight, replicating that recipe for you guys because it is both
So much carbs. So much carbs.
easy and delicious, the best two things. So for this recipe, I'm gonna cook up about 2.5 cups of rice. We like to make enough to have leftovers the next night, so we're making a lot of rice. I'm gonna put carrots, cabbage, radish, peas, onion, garlic, bell pepper, mushrooms. This is a veggie
Good God, the junk.
loaded medley, and the tofu squares in the oven. So typically heat the oven to 350 for the tofu squares. Obviously cut them into little squares, and then we put this sweet coconut aminos on each little square.
Oh, you know what? After this, I'm going to eat some bacon.
Put them in the oven and wait for them to get crispy. I'm gonna start cooking my rice, and then I'm gonna start sauteing all of my veggies together with salt, pepper, and namashoyu, or your choice of soy sauce. And for spices, I use a little bit of turmeric, onion powder, like quite a bit of onion powder. It gives this whole medley a really sweet flavor and aroma.
Wait, how does turmeric and onion create a sweet flavor?
Then I'm gonna use some garlic powder and some ginger powder. Now you can use fresh ginger too.
Gross. I had a pumpkin soup one time that my mom made, and I'm going to bring this up again. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in another video. She put garlic and ginger. The worst combination ever. Don't do it. Yuck.
And like I mentioned, we're going to use a healthy amount of soy sauce, or this namashoyu. Now I'm going to show you how to make this recipe. And I'm going to saute in just a little bit of water, always kind of adding a little bit more. Make sure my spices and my veggies don't get dried out. If you guys want this recipe laid out, like we said before, definitely go download our meal planner app. This is helping so many people, and you can find all the best recipes there.
All right, you guys, we are having our Lazy Man's salad tonight. Basically just chopped veggies and romaine leaves dipped in hummus and guac. Making sure we get our greens in. Hope you guys enjoyed these recipes. Be sure to download.
Wow, you really cut part of that out. What happened? So that's it for that video. Wow. Horrible. So I had a bit of a rant in there too. But it's important to know that the vegan diet was never designed for health, for longevity, for improving, like, I guess they started saying that so that people would start going on it. But the thing is, if you're smart, you're never going to go vegan. And the issue is, so many people are deficient in fat that their brain is not working. Their brain won't work. I think I got lucky, and I think most of the fat went to my brain. So I never fell for being vegan. But I did kind of fall for but these plants are so good. Any fat I took in probably went to my brain. And I was probably lucky for that. I never believed that being vegan was good. Never. And I'm glad I never did. Because I would be way worse off if I think I'd have way more issues in my health and stuff. Guys, get off this diet. Definitely get your kids off it. I don't know what you're thinking. If your kids are constantly complaining, that's the point of the diet. That was what the diet was meant for. It was meant to torture people. It was used for that. I might have mentioned this a couple times in other videos, but I have to really emphasize this and drive the point home that the vegan diet was meant for torture. It was used to torture people and just make people dumb, weak, dull them down. Even eating mostly plants, it's not meant to be a vitality diet. Maybe if you were eating meat, you'd have a little more success, feeling a bit better, but even then, no. Eventually, no. Vegan diets were meant to torture you. But the people who were strong and building things and doing all that stuff, they were mostly eating meat. They mostly ate meat because the people wanted them strong. The meat is what makes you strong and healthy and vibrant. That's the whole point. Okay? The vegan diet wasn't meant ever for it wasn't meant to save the animals and the environment. It was never meant for that. Never. That was never the purpose. The vegan diet was never meant for saving lives. It was only meant for torturing people. The only reason they say that is to pull you in and make you a part of their cult. But if you're smart enough, you'd never go vegan. And I'm lucky enough that I was smart enough. Because I believed, back then at least, you should have everything. I believed that I did fall for the hype that maybe you should limit your meat intake. But once I started having issues with iron, my doctor saying, do you eat red meat? That was my old doctor. I started eating more red meat because my doctor was asking me if I ate red meat at all. That was how anemic I was. But yeah. Back then I had a really smart doctor, and I don't think my doctor would have dropped me if I still had that same doctor. I wish I could talk to my old doctor. I'm gonna call him out here. Dr. Mourier, if you see this, drop a comment, please. I want you to talk to me he's here in PEI, I believe. I don't know where. Maybe he isn't, but he was living here before. Dr. Maury, if you're in my comments, I hope you find this. Reach out to me, talk to me, and I'm going to tell you everything. I want to tell you everything in private. If there's a way to, send me an email. Send me your email. My Facebook is linked if you have one. My Facebook is linked on my channel. Message me your email. If you don't have Facebook, just send me a comment here on YouTube. put your email maybe in your channel. And then I can, you know, because then that way you can like click on view the email, and you have to verify your account in order to view the email. So yeah, but I want to talk to you again. I want to tell you what happened with my doctor, because I don't even have one anymore. And now I have to rely on idiots. So yeah, please, Dr. Mourier, I want you to at least come back to me and at least talk to me, please. Yeah. So guys, thanks for bearing this rant and listening to me. I'm sorry this got so long, but I wanted to start saying stuff like that, because I feel like, because then the vegans won't view it so much as attacking them as they will attacking like the reasoning, right? Then they'll start to say like, wait, what do you mean it was never meant for this? It was never meant, because it wasn't. They feed you these plants so that you become addicted, and then you're like, wait, I don't even want the meat anymore. This stuff's too good. And then it starts with like, you start eating more plants, and then your come down is like depression and anxiety and anemia and all that stuff. And then you try to find the plant versions to rectify it, but it doesn't work. Anyway, thanks for dealing with my insanity, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
The meal planner and recipe app to get the full